Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Agrarian Skies. Yeah guys, welcome back. It's nice and rainy today. So, last episode we started setting up some of the applied energistic stuff and I had made a crafting monitor, I made a, what is that item even called? Made one of these guys, access terminal, and since then I went ahead and I upgraded to a crafting monitor. So the access terminal just lets you see what's all in the system. The crafting terminal also lets you see what's in the system, but you can craft with the stuff that's in there. So for instance, if I want to turn these aluminum ingots into an aluminum block, it'll just use the items from in my inventory and craft 64 of those. So yeah, this is really good. I've gone ahead and unblocked all of the all of my items just because the system doesn't know how to automatically turn a block into the 9 ingots and then use it for the recipes. So it's just easier to keep everything in the loose ingot form now that we have all of our stuff in AE. Right, so I've went and I made some tesseracts and I put tesseracts around to pipe lava into our portable tanks, which go into our lava generators and into our energy cells. And it looks like we are now using more power than our AE system or that we can than what we're making here for our AE system. So I have hooked up a couple of basic import buses, some ME cables, and everything else is pretty much the same. We're using 23.1 AE a tick. Actually, I guess we'd want that on what would we want that on? RF, but it doesn't look like RF is a thing we can set that to. So we could put on MJ, 4.6 MJ, but I don't think that really shows us what we need to see since all of our power we're producing is in RF. So this guy makes, oh, you know what? I had turned this thing off. That's why it's not. Yeah, let's go ahead and flip that, get some lava in here. So now that's producing. There we go. Now our power is coming back up. All right. So that's nothing to worry about. That was just me derping. All right. So I was also looking at this quest that we looked at last time, that we were supposed to be making some toast. And as you can see, I've made 128 of them, and I was getting kind of tired of doing this. I've made a whole bunch of bread, 384 in here, and then I was putting them into our powered furnace back behind, over here. Yep. And I have an import bus, so when it's done cooking, it gets sucked back into our ME system. So all the toast is right in here. So we have 76 more that I can submit. So let's go ahead and do that now. So now we're at 2%, 204 of these done. But I was looking for an easier way to do this because it's 3 pieces of wheat per bread. And then you got to smelt the bread and cook it, turn it into toast. So even though we have this huge wheat field going over here, this 9x9 or whatever that is, we have 9 stacks more of wheat, but that's still a long time to go. I think I saw we needed over 400 stacks of bread to do this. So I was looking at other ways to do it. I was seeing if we could make flour and cook the flour. I know Applied Energistics had that at one point. In here, where is it? Iron dust, gold dust. Yeah, flour. At one point you could put wheat into the grindstone, crank it around a few times, make flour, and then cook that to get bread. Nope, you can't do that anymore. That recipe has been disabled. I was trying to put wheat into this unifier, which can convert wheat into other things. So let me grab a piece of wheat. Oh, maybe I have it all turned into bread. Let's go grab a piece of wheat from over here. I should really sleep. This rain's annoying. Did you get one? Yep, there we go. The unifier is another block from Mine Factory Reloaded. It changes items into other or dictionary versions of that same item. So you can see at the bottom of that tooltip, it says list all grain. This will change it to something else that has that same or dictionary name. So now it says crop barley and list all grain. But unfortunately, there's really nothing we can do with this barley. I was looking at this, so if we hit the recipe on that, we can take 2 pieces of barley and turn it into 2 pieces of barley, which isn't helpful. You can eat the barley. But yeah, there's no good way or no quick way to make bread. So we're kind of stuck at just waiting for bread to grow. Also, I was taking some bones, turning into bone meal and bone mealing the wheat over here. You can get 2 or 3 pieces of wheat per harvest. But yeah, that still takes a lot of time. So I think we're just going to have to let that wheat just go and naturally grow and produce that much amount of wheat so we can turn the bread into toast and all that stuff. Oh well. So yep, this one's probably going to be a wheat farm for a great long time. Over here, I set up another one, just the same. Same style of structure. Nothing underneath it really, just some power and an item duct that's not being used right now. I put in our experience ore berries over here, the essence berries. These give you these concentrated essence berries. So if you eat these, it gives you a little bit of experience, which is pretty cool. So I've been using that for repairing my armor or repairing the hammer so I can break down the dusts and the gravel and the sands and all that stuff and smelt those down. So I've needed experience, and we don't really have any other way to get experience right now. I know there's a way where I could change this mob trap and pipe mobs out and then maybe hit them with my sword or have an autonomous activator hit them and then collect experience that way. For now, I think just automatically collecting those essence berries is also a pretty good way of getting experience without really doing anything. It just passively grows, harvests, and then collects that stuff. So yep, that's good enough for me for now. Also, I never really mentioned this. Our trap over here, I moved these spikes up 2 blocks, so most of the mobs now, when they fall down here, they die on the spikes. That way we have a greater chance of getting rare drops. Because mobs only drop the rare drops if they're killed by a player, and those iron spikes are like a player killing them. So we're getting a whole bunch of armor now. A lot of this chain armor and enchanted stuff and bows and all sorts of good stuff over here. So yeah, that's pretty cool too. I've seen monsters drop down here at the ladder. I don't know how that happens. It's some kind of a glitch apparently. It's probably something to do with that trap door and the... oh, what are those called? The conveyor belts up above. But yeah, I seen a zombie slide all the way down, and it was a real live one, so I had to come over and kill it. But I've seen also mobs just kind of drop down, glitching through the blocks, which is normal Minecraft stuff. But yeah, that's kind of scary. I was over here just about a half an hour ago before I started recording, and I saw a zombie over on top of this stuff, which kind of freaked me out. But yeah, I pressed the F7 key and looked for all the spawnable spaces, and I cannot see any other spawnable spaces around here, so it must have come from this mob trap and then walked over here or something, because there's nowhere else for those guys to spawn. I've also extended our lava production out just a little bit more. This fluid duct is the same length as it was last time, but I stuck a tesseract over on the end here to wirelessly transmit lava around. And then I've added 8 more crucibles and just extended this whole thing out a little bit, so we're making lava just that much faster. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've done since the last episode. I've taken our gravel, put it over here, broken down the gravel into sand and then into dust, then smelted it. So just been doing a lot of monotonous things, I guess, off camera. So today, since we're kind of stuck on this Hell's Kitchen stuff, all of these we can do, all of these we can do, but they just require a lot of items. That one's 1,000, this one is 50,000. Yeah, it's not something we could do quickly. So I was thinking we should go down to For The Hoarding, and I was noticing over here that the first quest on this page, besides this over here, is for applied energistic stuff. So I've already made these 3 items. I skipped over the ME1K storage drive in lieu of the 4K ones, but this wants me to make a 1K, it wants me to make a precision export bus and a precision import bus. So I can show you guys this crafting terminal real quick. Let's see, there's the 4K, there's the 1K. So it requires a storage cell, which is the processor, sort of quartz and redstone. Shift click that guy. And there we go. We can just drop that right into our system. Next piece of this puzzle is just glass, redstone, and iron. So I can shift click this. Everything is there except for the glass. Apparently, I must not have any. Can I use a clear glass? Nope. All right. Well, it's time to go smelt some glass, which should be fairly easy. We got about a stack of sand right here. I can just come over and drop that into our redstone furnace. And that's just going to go directly into our ME system when that cooks up. Just gotta wait for it. Should just be, yeah, there we go. 2 pieces of glass. There we go. So there's our 1K storage drive. So we're probably never going to use that thing other than for this. So if you take these storage drives, you can shift right click them if they're empty. If you do them when they're full, you could probably lose all your items. But you can separate the storage housing from the storage cell. This cell can be reused to make like a 4K drive, or you can make, take your 4K drives and combine them and make the 16K or whatever. So I like doing this, and you can use this storage cell housing. If you just make these storage cells or the storage block of the storage cluster, you just put that and this guy together and it makes the actual drive. So yeah, just kind of a way to reuse these things. So we can go and put those away. All right, so the next one's an ME Precision Export Bus. Export bus. So this is a basic import or a basic export bus plus the basic processor. So that's an ME interface and a piston. All these things are pretty simple to do. So let's just click on here and start making these. I don't have the conversion matrix, so let's go and make one of those. We'll come back in here and make this. And then we will, let's see. Yeah, we got to make this guy now, don't we? I need to make a piston. Piston. We will do with the aluminum. Okay, doing a lot of clicking here. Finally, there's our ME basic export bus. And we need to put that with the basic processor to make the precision export bus. There we go. And that one's done. So now we need to make the ME precision import bus, which is probably going to be pretty similar in recipe, except it uses a sticky piston. So let's make another conversion matrix. Let's click on the right one so we're making the right recipe. So we need to make the ME interface. Sticky piston, do we have? We do. Okay, good. So there's our ME basic import bus. And finally, there's our ME precision import bus. All right, so this task is now completed. So we're going to get 2 full hearts and a reward bag. 16 lives remaining. That's awesome. Let's see. What was the reward bag? It's a greater one. Ooh, what's all this? Netherfish. Hold shift for more info. Okay. Nightfish and enderfish. Interesting. So this is all mariculture stuff. I have never done anything with these guys, so I have no idea how they work. I really should figure that out because I know these guys, like if we go... I think if you hit U for uses, yeah, they do products. These nether droplets. What do these do? So the nether droplet looks like you can turn into lava. Well, that's kind of cool. Let's see. Glowfish. Oh, those are the other guys that make them. All right. What do the nightfish do? Nightfish make ender droplet and ender pearls at a 1% chance and a 5% chance. Awesome. Okay, so the ender droplet, oh, those also turn into ender pearls. Well, we don't really necessarily need those, but that's still pretty cool, right? Oh, and these are a male and a female, so I wonder if that means that we can breed them and make babies, or I wonder if these are like the bees, how you have to put in the female and then it makes the male more drones or whatever. I don't know. That's something we will definitely have to figure out. So this one, oh, is this the same thing? Ender droplet? Did I look at the nightfish last time? Ender droplet. All right, so the nightfish and the enderfish are basically the same as far as the products. Is it a different percent chance? Oh yeah, 7.5 and 5% chance. Okay, well that's pretty cool. Very good reward. Nightfish, netherfish, enderfish. All right, well I'm just going to stick those in the ME system for now. I don't really have a particular use for them at this moment. Let's look at our quest log. So, digital storage, punch tree get blisters. What is this? Oh, this wants us to do 100,000 oak wood. Interesting. We have to submit those. Okay, and that's going to give us a flux infused axe, hearts, and a reward bag. Interesting. What about the digital storage? This wants us... All right, so very good. I didn't create the Mac yet. And the Mac is how you do auto crafting with applied energistics. And it's a good thing because all those pieces that I would have had to craft, I need for this quest. So that's going to give us some interfaces, a full heart, a yellow heart canister. No idea what that means. Is that, oh, that must be an absorption heart. Okay. And a reward bag. All right. Well, it looks like we got a bit of crafting to do. Let's read this real quick. Through the use of strange science and possibly dark magic, the Organized One has created a system that allows you to store items in a digital format, send them out to machines for processing, bring them back, and then craft them into new components and resources to be sent out and used to expand your factory. Once you have a basic AE storage system in place like we do, you may want to consider adding a molecular assembler chamber, or MAC. These mullet block device will allow you sorry, these misspellings keep throwing me off. Will allow you to use coded patterns to craft items automagically. Interfaces will allow you to tell various machines to process sand into glass or create tesseracts on command. Yep. So that is really, really cool. I think we should set up the basic ME assembler. So it's going to be a lot of crafting. Again, none of these are really crazy things. The heat vent requires like iron bars and iron, and the ME assembler containment wall requires a lot of the Certus quartz. Crafting CPUs, I believe, require the basic or precision processors. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, and the blank patterns require a lot of glass. So I tell you guys what, let me go ahead and craft those up real quick, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so I got a lot of that crafting out of the way. So we're 100% on all of these. We just had to make one of each, but I went ahead and made a bit more than that. So I made 24 of the assembler containment walls. One of their pattern providers, pattern encoder, blank pattern, 10 heat vents, pattern provider, and the crafting CPU. So I made all these parts, the extras, heat vents, and the assembler containment wall, so we can put together our Mac and use it. So we are done with this quest. This is all done. Does this say anything, other information? The smallest ME assembler is 3x3x3 with room for one pattern provider. Yeah, so I made enough stuff so we can do it by 3x3x4 because we also have the extra crafting CPU. So I think we're good. Let's go and claim a reward. So there's one more full heart. We got a bunch of hearts now, 17 remaining, 17 lives. This is an accessory, permanent health increase. What does this do? I can't right click on it. So as I go over here, there's a thingy right there. So what does that do? It says it's a permanent heart increase. Oh, do I have to get my health back up? And then is that going to be... Aha! So there's half a yellow heart. And there's a full one. All right, so that's changed since the last time I've done that. I know there's these heart canisters here that you can make. You need necrotic bones and those red hearts. So this is something different that I've never seen before, but that's pretty cool. All right, so that quest is now done. And even more storage requires us to make a 16 million storage drive. My goodness. So 16M, this is part of extra cells. And that's an add-on for Applied Energistics. So this will hold 16,777,216 bytes, which is even more items than what that is. So it probably holds something like 40 million items, I think. I'm not exactly sure what the item to byte ratio is, but it's going to hold a ridiculous amount of stuff. So quartz glass, fluix, we can't make this, by the way. This is just too much. So we need a Terra storage cluster to make this. So a Terra storage cluster is 3 giga storage clusters and just some diamonds and stuff. These giga storage clusters, each one of those is 3 mega storage clusters and diamonds and stuff. The mega storage cluster is 3 kilo storage, and it looks like the same recipe. And then for the kilo, we need 3 of these storage clusters, which is a 64K storage drive, which you use to create those. And those require 3 storage blocks, which require 3 storage segments. So as you can see, it's a lot of stuff, and that's going to require a heck of a lot of resources to make one of those. So maybe later on in the future, when we have our resources automatically set up and we're just getting buckets of everything coming in, yeah, we'll look at that. But for right now, nope, that is something we cannot do. Right, so let's see here. Storage wars we've already done. So all of these are unlocked. It looks like dirt collection. What does this want us to do? Quadruple compressed dirt 100. Oh, wow. Not the end. So we need to make 1,000 end stone. We need 100 double compressed sand. That doesn't sound too hard. Crystal clear. That wants us to make 10,000 clear glass. Oh my goodness. There's just so many grindy quests here. That's going to give us 127 seared bricks. Wow. That can make quite the smeltery. What else? Near infinite power. A resonant flux capacitor. 30 of those? My goodness. This is something to work towards, that's for sure. So these slime blocks we can make with those slimy saplings, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that'll give us a slimy sapling as a reward, which is pretty cool. Ooh, spawn king slime. Interesting. And some bounce pads. Right on. Massive storage. That wants us to make a deep storage unit. That doesn't sound like that would be too hard to do, actually. I think that just requires a tesseract. Ooh, and these reinforced strong boxes, I forgot. So these tesseracts aren't too bad. Just the hardened glass and enderium stuff. These reinforced strong boxes, though, hardened glass plus a hardened strong box. That's Invar and a strong box. Or we can do the chest way. That actually is something that we could do, and that gives us 4 of these deep storage units. We have to turn one of them in for that quest, I think, right? Oh, it's just a crafting task. We just have to craft it once. Yeah, I think we can do that real quick. So let me bust through crafting those. Oh, you know what? Also, we could probably set this up too. Get our Mac going in here. I'm not sure how far down the floor it goes, but we need a little bit of space below us. Yep, and that goes right into the void. Oh, no. I don't really want the Mac to be above ground, so we're probably going to use one of those flight potions again. Just go ahead and use one of these guys so I can fly underneath the island and get this set up. Okay, take that on there. So yep, we can now fly. So let's go ahead and do this. Still kind of scary though. Okay, so underneath we can set up our containment walls. So we have to do this in a 3x3. Yep, and then we're going to go 4 down, so that's 2, 3, 4. And then we have to do another 3x3. Just like that, yep. And then we can put in our corners. There we go. All right, so everything that's not a containment wall has to be a heat vent. So we can just go ahead and fill this all in. Sorry if it's a little dark. Put that there, one on the bottom. We'll put the 2 in the front in just a second. So now we need the crafting CPU and a pattern provider. So we can stick that in there. Fill in the rest with the heat vents. Oops, press space and shift so I can hover. Okay, and now I can right click on this and we have the full Mac completed. So let me fly out from underneath the island. There we go. All right, so there's our Mac completely done in the floor. That's fine. So this will allow us to do some auto crafting. We just have to put the ME pattern provider somewhere, put a pattern in here, and then give it a recipe. So with the recipes, we can just do something like this. Shift click that in there, click encode. Now we can craft these strong boxes if we have these items. So we just put this guy right in here. So this is going to do a strong box. We can do strong box here. So we can now craft this item. But we don't have the items it needs to craft that. So yep, it's going to be a little bit of time before we have a lot of automation set up. But again, like I said before, I do want to get a subfloor set up underneath our platform here. So for things that stick out underneath, like our Mac, we are going to want access to so we can expand this out later or whatever, and these pieces just don't drop down into the void. Also, it would be a lot safer if we had something underneath here in case I dig and drop down. All right, guys, let me go ahead and make the deep storage units, and we'll be right back. Whew, my goodness, a lot of crafting today. So here we go. Here's our deep storage unit. Made the tesseract frame full. I had to make a bunch more of that enderium, this stuff. this Enderium ingots. I really should make a whole massive quantity of this stuff. The biggest problem with making this is getting that sulfur, like I've talked about before. I would like to go to the nether and try and find some nether sulfur ore, or maybe get one of those laser drill, whatever those things are called. Let's see. I keep saying this thing wrong. Yeah, laser drill. Get one of these things set up and over the void to start producing ores. But we really aren't making enough power at this point to produce a lot of stuff. We are going to need to make a whole bunch more power if we're going to be setting these things up. So we'll be doing that in the future at some point. Also, I forgot to do this reward bag from the last quest. So let's do that. Oh, 2 golden lassos. That's pretty cool. All right. Golden lasso similar to like the Pokeballs where you can capture mobs. This just allows you to take one mob and put it to another location. I think they're reusable, and I think you can, or at least you used to be able to rename these to name the mobs, but now there's name tags in the game. You can't do that. Let's go ahead and, oh, you know what? I was going to make that, wasn't I? So let's do that real quick. Deep storage unit. Boom, boom. Okay, so that's now made. So that should complete or satisfy this quest. Yep, so there's our deep storage unit. Just crafting tasks. Let's go ahead and pick this one. Claim a reward. So let's get one more heart. There's 18. And here's a good reward bag. Yeah. Not so good. Isn't that the same thing we had before? Yeah, same junk that we had before. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. These deep storage units, actually, let's talk about that real quick. If you haven't seen these deep storage units, you can put in like 4 billion or 2 billion items into one of these things. Then you can punch it and take it with you wherever you want. So they retain their inventory. So yeah, that's really, really awesome. So you can hook these up to your ME system with like a storage bus. So it'll read the inventory of this into your ME system, so you can have like that many items in your system on one of these. So another thing that would probably be kind of a smart idea is for something like this. Oh, why did that run out of water? What the heck? Why is it not piping water in anymore? Oh, did this get wrenched or something? Something's broken. Let's get that off of there. Now's the piping water in? Nope. I guess the aqueous accumulator broke. Let me go ahead and break. Oh, it looked like the top part got switched off for some reason. So that's sending water. It's not sending water over here anymore. What the heck? So it looks like our igneous extruder got broken somehow. It's not accepting water. I don't know why. Can I switch this over to something else? Oh, you know what? Let me just try putting a bucket of water in there. Is that going to fix it? Nope, it is broken, so I need to remove this thing. And unfortunately, I'm gonna lose that lava, I think. Yeah, there's no way to get that lava out. Oh man. But anyway, as I was gonna say, it would be a smart idea to put something like these deep storage units on one of these igneous extruders that are just making stone or cobblestone, just so you can keep making it for forever and you never have to worry about it. Is this filling up? Yeah, that filled up with water now. Let's put that back. Let's grab a little bit of lava to continue making our smooth stone. Let's do this real quick. Bink. So there we go. Yep, now it's holding its water. That was weird. That kind of broke. So let's go ahead and do that. Switch it back over to regular stone. Yep, and it goes back up. Awesome. Okay, yep, not sure why that was broken. But now it's fixed. Awesome. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it. And we'll see you next time.